cord burning is a practice that honestly I had not heard of until I was pregnant with my daughter Grace, and the midwives asked if instead of clamping and cutting the cord, we wanted to do a cord burning, which sounded really interesting to me. So I elected to do that. And so what I did was, or what they had me do, was buy 2 tapered, like the really long beeswax candles. And after my daughter was born and the placenta came out, first they did the suturing of my vagina. I peed, I, showered, did all that. Or actually, no, first, sorry, mom brain. They sutured me, but I believe before we did the other stuff, we did the cord burning, and the placenta by this point had probably been out for about 15, 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more. And my daughter was still attached to the placenta, obviously via the cord. And so what we did for the cord burning, once we were all settled, is, and by this point, like all of the blood that was in the placenta that was going to travel through the cord into my daughter was able to be transferred. There was no more blood going from the placenta to the baby. So the cord had completely stopped pulsating by this point, which I believe is really important to allow to happen, even if you're in the hospital. And then what they did was they had this box without a top, essentially, and there was this little groove on each part of the box where you lay the cord. And then myself and my husband, he held one candle, I held the other, and the flames met at the cord. And we held it there for about, I think it took about 10, 15 minutes before the cord was fully cauterized and separated. And it was such a special experience to allow the separation of the baby from the placenta, the organ that had grown from scratch, that had grown with her and had been the thing to support her as she developed in the womb. To allow that to be this slow, gradual process felt really special. It was really meditative, just like watching these flames. My daughter was really like quiet and calm during this. Of course, they can't feel the cord at all unless you're like pulling on it while it was attached to their belly button. So the burning, they can't feel it at all. Everybody was like really quiet and still in the birth space. It gave me a minute to really take in like what had happened. It was this really beautiful, special ritual that helped me also integrate with this huge change that had just taken place. The baby was in me, and now suddenly the baby's in my arms. The baby had been attached to my body for so long, now suddenly she wasn't. And again, it created this integration period. And my midwives also said that they found that, when you cauterize the cord like this, instead of just cutting it, it tends to fall out faster. There hasn't been any research done about this. They just have anecdotal evidence, but they said that the women that have opted for cord burning have often found that the baby's cord stump, the cord and everything dries out and falls off the baby faster than if you do just the cutting. And the only kind of hassle is when they clamp and cut, they usually cut pretty close to the belly button. So there's just like that little stump. When you do the cord burning, there's like a longer piece of cord that they have to wrap up and then kind of like wrap in gauze. And so there's like this kind of floppy thing around the baby's belly button, which is a little bit of a hassle. But it fell off about 5 days after my daughter was born, versus with my son, who we did the cutting for, it took about 2 weeks for that stump to fall off. And you can't give them a full bath until that stump falls out. You can't fully submerge their body in water until that stump comes out. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. So this was really nice. We were able to give her a bath about a week after she was born because the cord had fallen off. So if you're going to be at home or in a birth center, you can't have an open flame in a hospital. So this isn't an option for a hospital birth. But if you're not going to be in the hospital, it's something to consider. because I found it, again, to be a really, really beautiful ritual. And even if you're going to do a cutting, you can still find a way to make it more of a ritual. For example, you can ask for there to be silence in the room. You can, say a special blessing or something, right before the cutting. You can slow it down and make it a special experience as well. So if you have any questions about cord burning or want to share your own story about it, please let us know in the comments below.